Welcome to Complete Kids Online, friendly discussions about autism and other developmental disabilities. Learn how working together is working better, one conversation at a time.
Hello, welcome to Complete Kids Online. I'm Gina.
And I'm Bob.
And we are joined with Kelly.
Hi.
Hello. Kelly is one of our RBTs and a parent ambassador for our Belmont Clinic.
Yes, happy to be here.
Gina's extra happy today. She must really like you because there's a lot of happiness, a lot of happy energy going on today.
Well,
It was Happy Wednesday.
Exactly. We have an in-person guest. We have visitors.
Yes,
it's nice.
We love seeing people in person. So why don't you tell us, your history with Complete Kids and also your role?
Okay.
I know you have a couple of roles, so you can get into that.
All right. Well, it's been a year now since I've been with Complete Kids. I started on February the 28th of 2022. I became an RBT the 1st of June, so I guess I'm an official employee after June 2023.
Right, because it's before that's contract.
Right. I'm part-time. I really enjoy it, working with the kids every day. I like how in Belmont we set up with teams, so I work with the same children, so we develop that relationship. You know each other, and then we also develop relationships with the other RBTs that are on the same team, so we all have the best interest of the learner in mind. And then I guess back in the summer, I was talking to Stephen Mata, who's our head BCBA, about how, he knows that I'm a parent of an adult child with autism. And we were just talking, and I said, I feel like that I've got some wisdom, I've got some knowledge that I can offer to these parents of young children. And that's how the parent engagement ambassador role came about. I really haven't been able to do a lot with that. I recorded the video with you guys.
I was going to actually interject with that. So if you do go to our YouTube channel, anybody watching, there is a video up there with Kelly explaining both her role and also her experiences as a mom of an adult child, at one time child,
right.
On the autism spectrum, and the progressions that have made since she raised the child with autism versus what's available today.
Right,
so
and I'm very proud of that video and how it turned out.
Thank you.
And I'm part of the onboarding of new employees. I will go in and talk to them about my role and also the importance of our job as an RBT. And I've recently become a proctor with new employees.
Oh, nice.
And we're hopefully going to be moving into our new location soon.
I heard that rumor.
And I'm also heard the rumor that my role, I'll have more opportunities to be out in the community once we get moved in over there.
Awesome.
Nice. What you got you into the RBT world?
Well, just the fact, first of all, being a parent of a adult now with autism, and then I also worked for 10 years within the Gaston County school system as an exceptional children's teacher assistant, and I was one-on-one with a couple of little boys with autism. So it's just something that I know a lot about. It's like I didn't work for a while, and when I was ready to go back to work, I thought, I'll be a receptionist at a doctor's office or a dentist office or a vet clinic, and it's just like one day this advertisement for Complete Kids popped up on my Facebook feed, since I follow so many different things about autism.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I guess it's just meant to be. This is just a role that I'm always supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it was a spectacular ad done by
Yes.
the marketing and social media team. What?
Don't leave me hanging.
Oh, I thought you were raising your hand like you did it. I'm like, you taking all the credit? But yeah, so we're glad to have you. Obviously, you know, you bring a lot to the table and a lot of experiences. You understand not just the clinical side of it, but the emotional side of it as
Right,
well.
right.
How did working in the school differ, working one-on-one versus a clinic one-on-one?
It's different, but it's the same. A lot of the wording, you know, I was telling Steve, we were having a discussion one day that we did a lot of the same things. We just called it something different.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and within the school system, you're focusing still on academics, where at our clinic, we're strictly, you know, the ABA. There might be some academics thrown in, but it's not as much as it is in the school system. And ABA therapy is a lot more structured. You know, you can focus on the individual needs of the child more so than you can within the school system. Even though every child has an IEP, you do the best you can, but whenever you have a whole classroom.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're still adhering to a general program where this is
specific. So I like that it is geared directly. Each child has their own program, and I like that.
And what are some skills you guys work on in those programs?
Well, social skills is always a big thing. You know, starting out with parallel play, just being able to sit beside another learner, even if they're not playing with each other, they're tolerating each other. Then you move on into, hey, maybe they can play a game together. Some kids are at the point to where they can play games. Some are at the point to where they're just learning how to tolerate being near another child. We work on basic language skills with, you know, the lowest learners, and then we just work on up from that. Receptive language, expressive, what, you know, the DTTs, the discrete trial training, where we sit at the table and do the matching.
Yep, you know, I know that just from doing the marketing material. Just give us a brief, you know, for any viewers out there, to give a brief description of the DDT stuff.
Well, say you're working with the child, and it's something just as simple as being able to match pictures. And you might have 3 different pictures out in front of the child, and you have your stack, and you say match, and you hand them their card, and they have to find the one, and they match. If they do it correctly, you just move on to the next card. If they make a mistake, there's a particular order of error correction or prompting that we go through. And we like to do the least amount of prompting first. But that's basically what, just a fancy word. And it doesn't have to be done at a table. You have what we call the NET, the natural environment teaching. And I've sat in the middle of the floor with my cards, you know, wherever you do, wherever the child is the most comfortable.
Is that something that maybe even parents can do at home, Kelly, like with a deck of cards or flashcards or anything like that?
That's why it's so good that we have the parent training, because these same skills, it's so important that they work on them 24/7, so the parents know what to work. And at home, they might not want to work on, can they match A, B, C? They might want to focus more on self-help skills. But the BCBAs can put together a plan for this child to work on that while they're at home, which is the most important, because that was always a struggle that I had. My daughter was fine at school, but we never could figure out how to take the school learning and transfer it home, because she was just like, that's school and this is home,
separation.
And I can do whatever I want to do at home, and mom and dad's going to get me whatever I want, and I don't have to ask for it. And that's why it's so, this training of the younger kids is so important, because once they're at home, they need to do it.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think that's so important for parents to realize that you need to generalize the same skills across environments.
Exactly.
So there's school and home, but it's the same child.
Right. And that's something that a lot of children with autism just don't understand. They don't know how to generalize. So they might be able to play a game out in the main part of the clinic, and you take that same game into the back room. Well, I don't know how to play it in here.
Right.
So that's a skill that you work on, play generalization. And once they learn and understand how to do that, then they can generalize everything that comes along.
Yeah, that home exercise
Right.
program is important.
Right.
So you've been in Belmont for a full year,
Right.
straight through, not at any other clinic. So you've probably been with a lot of the same kids.
Yes.
So what kind of progress have you seen over the past year?
Oh, it's amazing, especially with the little boy that I'm considered his primary. He'll be 3, I believe, this month. But he come to where we just wanted him to, if he wanted to be picked up, raised his arms. If he wanted a toy, he reached for it. Now he says up when he wants up. He tacks everything. If he wants a toy, he tells you what that toy is. If he wants you to open his lunchbox, he's saying open. He's singing. He's just blossomed. It's just like I'll talk to his mom. It's like he's a sponge now. Once they make a connection, it's just they absorb everything, and it's wonderful to see that and to know that. I mean, I didn't do it all, but I helped
Right. No,
make
yeah,
a
definitely
difference.
part of it. Yeah.
And it reduces the frustration so much.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
It's so much easier to say, I want an apple than to point towards
Right.
the general
Or
direction.
just try to guess as a parent. Yeah.
Or some of them can't even point. So the only way is just to have a little temper tantrum. So if that's the case, then if all they can do is point, then you teach them how to point to what they want. But he's been able to go beyond that, and it's wonderful to see.
That's
Excellent.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you doing with your parent ambassador program?
Well, right now, like I said, I meet with the new, if there's a new parent that comes in, Steve likes for me to introduce myself to them at one of their parent trainings. And that's kind of been the gist of it. Like I said, I'm hoping that it picks up once we move into our new clinic. And I'm from the Belmont Mount Holly area, so I know the community and a lot of the people, and I feel like I can help get our name out in the community
Awesome.
even more.
Yeah. Did you-
My mom, well, my daughter, but my parents went to the high school.
Did they go to Belmont Middle School?
Yes.
Oh,
My
wow.
daughter went to Belmont Middle. My in-laws and my parents went to high school there. So
Oh yeah, because it was a high school.
it was a
way
high
back
school.
when. Yeah.
Yeah, it was put it this way. My father-in-law went there whenever there was only 11 grades. You didn't
Oh,
have
wow.
a 12th grade. You graduated
Oh, wow.
after the 11th
That's
grade.
funny.
Wow.
But my mom graduated from there in 1959.
Well, I think it's 32 or 35 is the cornerstone on the building.
Yeah,
It's been there a
yeah.
while.
So I was just so happy that we acquired it, but that it's just still going to be there. But
Yeah, yeah.
even more so now that know that we're going to be part of
Still
it.
helping the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for those listening who may not know, we had bought the Belmont Middle School, and so our clinic plans to move in quite soon
Yeah. Hopefully,
to our new improved,
Yeah.
bigger space.
Yeah.
I think we're hoping by the end of the month.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Knock wood.
I'll ride by there quite frequently to see the progress.
Yeah,
that
yeah. Well,
from
most of
the
it's around
outside,
back.
it
from
looks
where we're gonna
good.
be. Yeah, from
Nice
most of
new
it's around
parking
back.
lot,
Yeah.
sign up.
Yeah.
It'll be nice, yeah.
So, we always, as you know, we have a theme in the company for superheroes. It's kind of our branding image, and so we ask before we wrap up the podcast, if you could have any superpower in the world, what superpower would you pick?
The ability to, even if a child cannot verbally communicate, to be able to understand. I guess to
Mind
read,
reading.
mind
Mind
reading.
reading.
Mind reading.
That's a good one.
yeah,
Pediatric
that one.
mind reading.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because I know how frustrating it is for a child when they can't communicate, and I
Yeah.
know how frustrating it is from a parent's perspective and from a therapist's perspective when you don't understand what they're trying to convey.
Well, just don't use it on the marketing team because it's scary what's going on. In there, so-
Okay. Good. I'll reserve it just for the children.
Well, thanks so much for being with me.
We really appreciate you stopping
Thank you for
by
having
and
me.
telling us what's going on, and hopefully we'll have you back again. We
Okay.
loved you on the first video, so hopefully we'll keep you back. Keep you
I'll
coming back.
come back anytime.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
To continue the conversation, visit the links to our website, Facebook page, or Instagram in the comments.